Welcome to the quick start section of the Merlin video. This is for JR owners, people that understand the principles, old retired Steadicam operators, or people who think they're real hotshots and don't need to look at the manual, which I think includes about 90% of Americans. So for those of you who want to have a go at a quick version of this, we will race through all the particulars. And if you get in trouble, don't blame us. Go back and look at the manual and look at the whole rest of the video, because it's incredibly fascinating, I promise. All right.
The Steadicam JR and the Merlin have one feature in common, the patented handle with the guide ring and grip separated by the 6-bearing gimbal. But the Merlin handle stows with a Velcro patch under the stage. This is the upper spar. This is the lower spar. Unlike the JR, the Merlin folds into traveling mode by swinging the lower spar up sideways under the stage. The Merlin unfolds into the operating position by swinging down the lower spar until it clicks. Notice the locking release on the caliper hinge. Before you fold the Merlin, it must be unlocked. And be sure it is up and out of the way when you unfold. With heavy cameras aboard, get into the habit of locking the hinge while operating. The Merlin does its magic by being very slightly bottom heavy. Check this with a drop test. Hold the lower spar out sideways and let it go. Count the time as it drops through vertical. It should take at least a full second. Go, 1001. The bottom heaviness of the Merlin is adjusted 3 ways, from fine to coarse. The finest adjustment is by screwing in or out the guide ring, the same technique as the JR. Remember to push the locking button, make full turns clockwise for more bottom heaviness or counterclockwise for less bottom heaviness. Hold the handle with the Velcro patch forward to avoid damage. The next finest adjustment is opening and closing the caliper hinge. Loosen the top and bottom locks, turn the adjusting knob to expand and contract the size of the arc. Support the weight of the lower spar while doing this to make the knob easier to turn. It's a continuous adjustment, unlike the JR, which used 3 separate stop blocks. Remember, the locking knobs on the caliper hinge must be retightened when you are ready to shoot, or vibrations may be visible in your shot. The gross adjustment of bottom heaviness is by adding and subtracting weights. The Merlin comes with a set of stainless steel weights to balance cameras from 1/2 pound to 5 pounds, 220 grams to 2.2 kilograms, a 10-to-1 ratio. Here's a start weight. You get 1, tapered with a hole in a threaded section, 1/8 pound or 57 grams. Here's a finish weight. You get 2, 1/8 pound each. Here's a midweight. You get 6 at a 1/4 pound each, 114 grams. The correct combination of start, finish, and midweights will let you balance the full range of camcorders in the correct, slightly bottom-heavy condition. Here's a rule of thumb. Cameras weighing 1/2 pound need only 1 finish weight below. At 1 pound, like the Sony Handycam, add a finish weight in front and a start weight below. For every additional pound of camera weight, add a 1/4 pound midweight. The heaviest cameras that work on the Merlin weigh 5 pounds, and if their mass is high up like the Sony Z, they may need all 6 midweights and only a single finish weight in front. Note that when your camera weighs more than 2 pounds, over a kilogram, add 1 midweight to the forward position to increase the inertia of the system and augment stability in the pan axis. With the Merlin, your camera no longer directly bolts onto the stage, but attaches first to a dovetail mounting plate. If your camera is listed in our online cookbook, you'll find that the correct mounting hole is specified, identified alphabetically, and forward of each one is a locating pin. The dovetail plate locks onto the stage. The folded edge hooks over the edge of the stage on the monitor side of the camera. The 3-position locking lever goes forward to let the plate drop into position. It sticks straight out to slide the camera forward and back for rough balance. It's pushed to the rear to lock the dovetail on your stage. Keep a hand on your camera when the lever is forward, or it could fall off, and also when it's out to the side. Be sure the locking lever is to the back before letting go. If your camera is in the online cookbook, align the dovetail to the calibrating mark, and remember that position when your camera is on and off the stage. The Merlin trims side to side and fore and aft with these blue micrometer trim rollers. Note the 2 arrows. They're your reminder. If you push up on the roller, the front of the camera will be tilted up. Pull down, and the front of the camera will be trimmed lower. The fore-aft trim roller is used constantly to adjust the tilt angle of the Merlin for each different shot. Notice the side-to-side trim roller underneath at the back of the gimbal. It has the same arrows on the monitor side. This side of the camera will roll upward if you push up on the roller. The same side will be rolled downward if you pull down, so you can trim the Merlin to be level with the bubble at the back of the stage. Both trim rollers are fine adjustments and may need several quick pulls. Use the thumb of your operating hand while the other hand holds the upper spar steady. When you let go, you'll see the effect. Though the Merlin is considerably lighter than the JR, it's 4 times more rigid, which means much less vibration. Our goal is to keep the structure as light as possible in order to reduce the fatigue of carrying a heavy camera to the absolute minimum. With heavy camcorders, use the threaded holes forward of the Merlin stage and the Gazornenplatz to control vibration due to the weakness of the camera mounting structure. The Gazornenplatz screw is adjusted up until it just kisses the underside of your camera to stop relative motion between the front of the camera and the Merlin stage. The Merlin dovetail plate also clamps to the supplied tripod adapter plate so you can instantly mount the camera on your tripod. Remember to return the dovetail plate to the correct mark on the stage when you remount on the Merlin. Note that the Merlin can be tucked against your torso for handheld type shooting. Note also that the Merlin can be rested in its open position by docking the handle on the Velcro and setting it down on a table. The surface can be protected from damage with any kind of non-skid pad. If you find your camera in the cookbook, it will tell you the number of weights, the size of the arc, the mounting hole, the stage position, even the number of Z turns on the guide. If it isn't yet in the cookbook, try balancing from scratch and watch the entire video and read the manual. And best of luck with your new Merlin.
Whew. The quick start guide. Boy, that was quick. Listen, if you get confused, don't hesitate to look at the manual and watch the entire video. We've worked hard to help understand the Merlin and give you some really valuable tips. But if you're a hotshot, give it a try. Maybe the quick start guide will be enough.